And this is Darksiders 3, where we play as Fury, the only female horseman. Now, there is some debate about which of these games take place first, Darksiders 3 or Darksiders 2. At some point the devs said Darksiders 2 takes place before 3, then they changed their minds. The latest information we have is that Darksiders 3 takes place before Darksiders 2, so that's why we're continuing with this. What we do know from developer interviews is that Darksiders 3 takes place 10 years after this prologue that we just saw. So let's jump right into it. New game, we're playing on balance because we don't hate ourselves, and we are using classic combat mode because Jesus Christ, default combat mode is just such a pain in the ass. They basically make this game more Souls-like, so unless you really like challenging combats, I highly recommend that you use classic mode. And no, I will definitely not enter nightmare mode, thank you very much. Because, yeah.
Why did the Creator construct a universe teeming with imperfection, misery, sin? Among the scholars of both heaven and hell, this query is known as the riddle of sorrows. If sin is itself a part of the grand design, is not sin then, by definition, divine? A question for the sages. The one particularly restless bunch kept a robust relationship to the topic. The Nephilim. Spawn of angels and demons. Warriors, relentless, unstoppable, blood-mad. Until they were betrayed by 4 of their own. War, death, fury, and strife. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Inconceivable power was bestowed upon the traitors by those sworn to maintain symmetry twixt order and chaos. The Charred Council. Bear witness as the Council holds court to end the Nephilim War in the name of balance. This is the new pact. War, bringer of worldwide fire. You are the juggernaut of all pain. Death, dark soul of eternity. You are the deepest decay. You are anti-life. Strife. Endless spirit of timeless unrest. You are all that is unsettled in the hearts of that which lives and breathes. And finally, fury. Terrible engine of rage. You are the machine that...
Are we to waste our time on ceremony, or are we to fight?
Step forward and recognize, horseman. You are the most impatient of your kin. The least predictable, dancing on the edge of your own reality. Your brothers understand the undertaking set before them. But do you?
Still talking! Shall I have Death fetch us some tea, or can we get on with it?
Fury, your role in this story is yet to be written. I wonder, will you light the flame of creation anew? Or stomp out the embers for good?
So I love the implication here that Death likes tea, and I love that this is basically what happened after Genesis ended.
Dreams more thrilling than reality. Had I known the new pact would be so exciting, I would have let walls separate my head from my neck then and there. Is it possible to die of boredom? Rampage. Bored as I am, perhaps you're just lazy. If I didn't love you so much, I'd kill you just for something to do. The call? Finally.
I love how this kind of implies that Fury almost never gets off of this planet that she's on.
Please, please, please tell me you're a planet of demons that needs slaying. Or two. War. What pathetic fate have you brought upon yourself, brother?
Watch your tongue.
I may be least favored of all the horsemen, but my tongue never found me chained to a rock like some dog.
Fury, approach us.
I take it there is a mess that needs tending to.
Though you jest, you speak true. War has broken his vows to this council, and shattered the seventh seal.
The apocalypse. Why would he...
We know not. Yet. As we speak, Earth falls beneath the spears of heaven and the hammers of hell.
So the horsemen are to ride.
No. While the Charred Council seeks to understand how and why the traitor war has committed this abominable act, there is a matter that requires delicate attention.
You should have called Strife. He's the delicate one.
The 7 deadly sins have been released, by whom we cannot say, but the 7 roam the earth, free of our prison. The balance between order and chaos is already in jeopardy. The 7 cannot be left unchecked. War is in chains. Death is missing. Strife attends to other matters. The last time you faced the sins, it required all 4 of you.
I can handle those fools in my sleep. But when this task is complete, I demand that you grant me my rightful place leading the horsemen.
If you would trade obedience for a title, so be it. But never make a demand upon us, horsemen. You depart immediately.
Greetings, Miss Fury. I must admit, this is a fortuitous fate.
A watcher? You doubt my allegiance?
Please, be not cross. I am such an admirer. Scratch that. I'm a fan. You are the horseman. The only one that matters.
Enough! I will allow you to accompany me. Just stay out of my way.
I will be as unto a shadow. Steadfast. Silent.
More silence!
Go! Seek out the place called Haven. Your quest for the 7 deadly begins there.
Fury, wait. Whatever has passed between us, search your heart. You cannot believe I am guilty of these crimes. Something is wrong with the universe. Be vigilant, Fury. Forces conspire against us. Heed my words!
Alright, so here we go. This is our introduction to Fury. She's amazing. She's such a little terrible ball of rage. Anyway, pretty much everything the Watcher says will eventually take on a second meaning, and you will notice why when we get to the end of the game. Now, the Watchers were created by the Council, according to the novel, were created by the Council as kind of a slave race. They bring messages for the Council, they watch over planets and people for the Council, they act as spies, but they are bound to the Council. They literally live and die by the will of the Council, and they cannot escape from them. And usually when a horseman goes out and the Council is not quite sure whether they are going to actually follow through with their mission as intended, they basically bind a Watcher to them. Now, what Satya, you mentioned in the chat about the continuity of this with war being in chains here and not being in chains during the conversation that we saw earlier. This is where it gets really tricky with the continuity, because in Darksiders 2, which is supposed to take place after this, it is said that War is dead, actually, at the moment that the game takes place. So he already died in Darksiders 1. So it's kind of a continuity clusterfuck. The only thing I can imagine happening is basically that the Council resurrected him after he was killed by Straga, questioned him in chains, which is how Fury finds him, didn't get the information they wanted, killed him again, and then brought him back again. And God knows how many times that happened. War has been through a lot, let's put it like this. And it's never explained what exactly happened between him and Fury. The only interaction we know of between the two of them before this is the only interaction that was kind of not friendly between the two of them, is that at one time when War lost his arm, he went berserk basically. The other four had to come and get him, and he defeated Fury in battle. And then the entire thing of losing his arm happened. But that's pretty much all we know. So War really does not know what the fuck he did to Fury for her to be so angry with him. But I loved it, even as he realizes that she's not going to listen to him, he's still trying to warn her. So good on her little brother for looking after her. Now, there's a bunch of interesting lore in this game, and this is the game that got me into this series, and I don't think I would have cared about any of the characters in Darksiders 1 or Darksiders 2 if I hadn't played this at least a little bit before I started. So, if we go here, we've got this item here, the Nephilim Respite, which is basically a healing flask that refills if we use it, depending on how many enemies we kill. So every time you kill an enemy and you've got capacity in your Nephilim Respite, there's a chance that you might get a health soul that will replenish this Nephilim Respite. But the important thing here is the lore bit that we have down below. Crafted by Death, he gave this flask to his sister as a gift a long time ago. Though not as skilled as the makers themselves, Death was an accomplished crafter in his own right. While most of the Nephilim focused on weapons of war, he endeavored to create something that gave life. When he had finished, he offered the flask to Fury, whose penchant for seeking danger was well known. And who's Chimera? We're gonna meet him in the second game. He's basically an angelic scribe. But, so basically, Death went, okay, I have actually brought enough destruction on this universe, and this was before the Council. Went, okay, I've brought enough destruction on the universe. I'm gonna make something that is actually focused on giving life. And Fury is always rushing into battle. She's gonna get herself killed, so I'm gonna give this to her. So, good on him for being a good bro. Now, we're also gonna go over here to our weapon. This is Scorn. Forged long ago by the Mad Smith, Scorn adopts to Fury's will with each of her forms. So the preferred form of Scorn is a bladed whip. So basically, only the hilt of this weapon is actually a material thing, and Fury basically conjures up the rest with her mind. And this weapon can take any form she wants. And here we have all of our combos, most of which we're not going to use. And I'm going to get into the lore bits of the other things as we go. Now, all of these armors are unlocked because I have already beaten the DLC episodes in a previous save file, so we're just going to go through them really quickly. This is the base armor, forged long ago in the early days of the Nephilim Crusades. So, either Fury inherited this from an older sister, or she's actually one of the older Nephilim around. Not as old as Death, but definitely one of the earlier ones. The Crimson Oath, this is one of the 3 pre-order armors that you can get. There is one pre-order armor for Xbox, which describes that it's made from blessed steel, reserved only for the Seraphim, the highest of the angels. This one, the Crimson Oath, was apparently worn by a Nephilim sub-factions who were assassins who specialized in dismantling enemies from within. So, Maybe Fury was part of them, maybe not. It's basically just a neat pre-order armor. Now this is Chaosbringer's armor, which is modeled after War. Reaper's Shadowmail, which is modeled after Death. The Panoply of Champions, which if you level this thing up and put all of your level up points into Arcane, this thing becomes basically massively powerful and allows you to cheese the game. Because you will constantly be in Havoc form. You will just be melting everything around you. And this is Fury's Abyssal Armor, forged in secret by the Mad Smith for the 4 horsemen shortly after they swore an oath of allegiance to the Charred Council. Each horseman's armor was specially fashioned to enhance their powers and innate abilities, and was hidden away and meant to be utilized for the eventual end times. However, Fury's Abyssal Armor was thought to be lost or possibly stolen by a cunning demon. The demon we later get this from is Volgrim. So, that little bastard snake. I'm just gonna put the on some of these, not all of them obviously, but I'm gonna show you guys the one that's modeled after Death's color scheme. So that would be this purple beauty here. And we're going to put on the Abyssal Armor. I'm just gonna show it to you guys just real quickly. And yes, we're going to meet the Matt Smith, who made this Abyssal Armor later in Darksiders 2 when we get to it. Personally, I don't like the look of this armor that much. I really could have done without the face on her chest. But that's just me. Also, it changes her makeup, which is amazing. Especially because the novel says that those are actually tattoos. So I really want to know what kind of armor this is. But the one that we are going to wear, because I love it and it's gorgeous, is Chaosbringer armor, the one that's modeled after War. And this goes really well with Fury's color scheme. Also, it gives us extra physical damage and physical damage reduction, both of which I am really grateful for, so we're going to be wearing this. And if I did not already have a save where I have unlocked all of these, I would have had to earn them during the game from the Crucible. We're still going to do the Crucible because there's neat little dialogue in there, but we have everything unlocked. Alright, now let's kill a few more demons. These guys are actually not demons. These guys are actually corrupted angels, or, well, not quite corrupted, but corrupted and twisted angels who were basically died on Earth.
We're close to one of the 7. I just know it. I hope it's not envy. That was a terror.
And these can actually take different forms. Now, what the Watcher just said here, that she hopes it's not envy, that's going to become a lot more hilarious when we get to the end of the game. And here is why I said that this thing takes place in New York, because that over there, does that building look familiar? That right there? We are in New York, guys. Now I'm gonna sneak up on this guy if I can, because there are these knife throwing enemies that are just a pain in the ass. So you really want to sneak up on these guys whenever you can. There we go. I'm just going to collect all the pickups, and each one of these has a few lore bits behind them, so this is what I really love about this game. This one, for example, the small healing shard. As was his nature, the Archangel Raphael worked diligently to find new means of performing healing miracles. In these shards he wove a strand of life force that powered creation, so that any who possessed it might be healed. However, a strand was nearly enough for Heaven's needs during the war. So basically, these were made by the Archangel Raphael, and he was basically going, okay, we are dying by the hundreds and thousands, we need some healing items. And this is going to get progressively sadder as we pick up more potent healing shards. Wrath shards. Reserved for the Dark Kingdom's commanders, this shard energy is all-encompassing, altering those that use them to their very core. They become more than simply hellspawn. They become something else entirely. these sharks don't actually do anything to us, possibly because the Nephilim, as the opening narration explained, are half demon, half angel. So for us, this just basically gives us more power. It allows us to use our wrath power immediately. And yeah, that's a very nice looking Empire State Building over there. I'm actually surprised it's still in one piece. I mean, for New York that went through the apocalypse, I'm pretty sure you can see some stars at night. That would be nice.
Haven. A haven for what? Vermin?
Humans, mistress.
Adorable. Build a house of sticks during the end of the world. Where exactly do we go from here, Watcher?
I know not but what the Council commands, mistress. The quest for the Seven begins here.
Now, notice how this amulet is only just glowing now.
Envy.
Mine! Humans, Haven, everything here! Mine! Move on, horsemen, or ye be mine too!
I'm on a mission.
Protecting humans? Humans think creation favors them. They are apes, crawling through dirt.
Quite the grudge you're carrying.
What they have, I will take. When they have nothing left, they will be my playthings until they break. You cannot stop me!
Oh, I don't want to. Humanity is tragically overrated. I am not here for them. I'm all yours.
No!
I am your end!
I love the music in this boss battle. Like, when you play this battle, you barely have time to notice it, but when you actually listen to the theme on its own, it's really, really good. So yeah, there is a meaning to pretty much everything Envy said here. What she said about Fury being here to protect humans, what she said, what happened with the talisman not glowing until she was actually right next to us. All of that has meaning. And that's one of the things I like about this game. The second time you play it, you will understand so much more of what's going on. Because there's just little hints to future events dropped throughout this game. Oh, ouch. Jumped a little too soon. Ow.
Accursed wretch!
Oh, it's a good thing we're only playing in normal, because otherwise we would be losing so much health right now.
Killing you is even better than I imagined.
Alright, there we go, almost done. Where is she? There.
Pretty. Come and get it.
Ah, that's mine!
Mistress, not to be a bother, but weren't you supposed to catch Envy?
I did. Watch.
And also the fact that this glow is more white than green also has a point.
This talisman.
It's a vessel. Envy used it to hold energies from the rest of the Seven.
It will make a fitting prison for the others once their physical forms have been broken.
If I may, there is a sort of hum emanating from the talisman. That glow
Will indicate when one of the Seven is nearby. I know.
So wise. You are all that the Council promised, Mistress.
I'm beginning to enjoy the sound of your voice, Watcher.
So yeah, if that thing was supposed to glow green when one of the Seven is nearby, why was it not glowing green while Envy was holding it? So yeah, this talisman will basically act as our compass and will show us how to get to the nearest sin. It can be a bit finicky, so we're going to use the most efficient way to get to these guys. Now, if you go to the actual talisman in the menu, we get a little bit more backlore. Basically, there is almost nothing that the Seven fear on this or any other plane of existence. They will spread their poisonous destruction as long as they are able, with no thought given to their own preservation. But there is one thing, something that strikes terror into their rotten hearts: captivity. So basically, the sins cannot be killed, but they can be captured. And this talisman basically was the prison in which they are being housed, except now they're free, obviously, and we have to catch them all. Darksiders the Pokemon edition, gotta catch them all.
I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't point out that even with the talisman, locating the other deadly sins will prove a challenge.
Finding Envy was easy enough.
That was a gift, one I would not count on receiving twice. Envy was also, by far, the weakest of the deadly sins.
Anything else to add?
Only what I assume you already know. The armies of both heaven and hell have cordoned off the world of man into various areas of influence. Look around us. The upheaval we have seen is the very personification of the struggle between order and chaos. You have set for yourself an unenviable task, given these environs.
That's what makes it fun. The other sins are hiding across this shattered world. They strike at angels and demons alike in their own selfish bids for power. Their hubris will lead me right to them.
Perhaps, but you will need assistance.
Whatever I need, I will take, Watcher.
Alright. So, there we go. And yes, this is a very beautiful level. I really like Haven. Now, this serpent hole, it is a serpent hole, will become activated later on. Just right now, we can't use it.
I knew that war would one day unleash all this. But seeing it... his gifts are impressive.
May I remind you, Mistress, that you have no peer among your horsemen brethren.
Alright, now these little guys that we see here, these Hellspawn, these are essentially corrupted humans. So, this is what happened to the corpses of the humans who were slaughtered in the apocalypse. So much fun. And we're going to run into a lot of these. A lot. Now, these items over there, we're gonna have to come back for these later. There's a whole bunch of areas that you cannot access at this point in time. we're gonna have to come back for it as we get more of our traversal and combat items. And personally, I recommend waiting until you have all the items so that you only have to backtrack once. Makes life a lot easier. Same with this. This requires the very last traversal item that we will get, so I'm gonna have to come back for that. Oh, is anything in here? No. Cool. Alright, there we go. Did we get any nice new items or did we just get lurchers? Oh, we got a normal healing shard now. So this is a higher potency healing shard. Continuing his important work as hell grew stronger and heaven's armies began to stumble, Raphael took a new approach. Dipping into the Well of Souls, he removed a sampling of the spirits contained within, and combined their essence with that of a life force strand. The result was more potent, but Raphael was not satisfied. So the Well of Souls in this universe, in the Darksiders universe, is where you go after you die. First you go to the Kingdom of the Dead, where your sins are laid bare, and you go to the City of the Dead, where your memories are cleansed, so your soul basically becomes a blank slate. And then it goes into the Well of Souls, gets purified and gets redistributed into the world of the living. And so Raphael essentially accessed the Well of Souls and took some of these pure, untainted souls to use them for healing shards. Which I'm not actually quite sure if that was legal. Like, I'm pretty sure that probably violated some ancient law somewhere. Ah, this is why I say I hate these knife throwers. Oh my god, Zen, yes. See your life as you truly lived. Oh, we're gonna hear that so many times once we get to Darksiders 2. And yeah, what Zacha here is asking is a good question. How did Raphael get into the Well of Souls? Because the Well of Souls was locked away long ago, with one key being given to the angels and one being given to the demons, and never shall the two meet. But that also brings the question as to how Azrael got in there as Watcher of the Well of Souls, or did they just put him in there before they made the keys and then he hasn't come out of the Well of Souls ever since? Like, whichever way you choose to interpret it, the two keys thing is kind of stupid. I mean, it makes sense until you think about the implications of it, then it just becomes stupid. But anyway. Oh, yeah, this is basically the game telling us that we should probably use our healing items, which we are not yet going to do. The small healing shards are going to become so obsolete so quickly that we're going to use those first, because very soon they won't really help us anymore. So I'm just gonna pop one of these. Let me climb up here. God damn you. Ah, I can't get there yet. Okay. Whatever. Another thing we're gonna have to come back for. But we are going to get our first weapon enhancement from this dude. Now, this is one of the Suffering. And the Suffering are creatures of the Abyss. The Abyss being basically a massive black hole at the center of the universe and free of the Creator's hand. Like, the Abyss really is not a very nice place, not a place that you should meddle with. Has basically infinite power and nothing good ever comes of meddling with the Abyss. So, here we have the Fortifier enhancement. Each of these enhancements has a certain positive effect and a certain passive effect and an active effect. The active effect will always be there whenever you're using that weapon. The passive effect will be there regardless of whether you're using the weapon or not, so long as you have this thing equipped. So we're going to equip it right now, and boom, there we go. Also, every single one of these comes with a lore blip. So here, for example, I seek strength of heart and strength of arms. And some of these are very generic, like the one for the unfocused for the fortifier. But some of them are actually very specific and hint at other things in the universe. So we're also going to go for these as we get them. And yes, we are going to get all of them.
Perhaps there are human survivors.
Not my concern, Watcher.
And oh my god, every single house in this place has the same stupid ugly wallpaper. Ugh. I know this is a very minor thing to note.
It's impressive. But is it just me, or is it out of place here?
It is a maker tree. Most likely we will find refuge there.
Now, the makers are creatures who are actually older than angels and demons, and that's why they are also called Old Ones, because they are among the races that were there even before Heaven and Hell. And they basically hit every dwarf stereotype in the fantasy book, except that they are huge. They are twice the size of a human. Or a horseman. Or a horsewoman, yes. Horse lady? Horse person? Alright, let's pick this up. And we're about to meet a familiar face.
Aren't we making a mighty ruckus?
Says the demon who announces his ambush.
It was not my intention to do battle, horseman. Well, such a passionate little thing, aren't we?
Do not test my patience.
Very well. War is too hazardous an occupation for myself, horseman. I am here in the name of blind capitalism. I am Volgrim, merchant of the damned, a trader who deals in souls for profit. Even in the face of the apocalypse, one must endeavor to earn a living.
And whose souls do you trade in?
Angel, demon, or even human. All souls have value to me. I've seen the trail of bodies you've left in your wake.
What would I require from you?
That depends. What are your needs?
Information. The 7 deadly sins.
Whispers on the wind say that the fabled horsemen are but pawns in a larger game. Victims of a grand setup.
What do you know?
I know that the first one's free. Call for me if you have souls to trade, and perhaps you will consider my wares valuable.
This slimy little snake bastard. Okay, so, this is Volgrim, whom we already met in Darksiders Genesis. He is still a little two-tongued bastard. And now, thanks to him, we can access serpent holes whenever we get to one of these. And we can also access his wares.
Take your time.
Some of these are more important and more valuable than others. We can also sell him stuff if we want. So I'm just gonna go for these quickly because they have some lore relevant stuff. We can use the serpent holes here.
Take your time.
So this is the one that I mentioned before. We can now use it. And if you feed him souls, you will gain level up points. We're not gonna do that just yet because we are actually going to buy some stuff from him soon. So what is he selling? We've already seen these, but here is the large healing shard, and here is where it gets really depressing. Desperate, obsessed with perfecting his miracle, Raphael did the unthinkable. Separating a small part of his angelic soul, he combined it with each element he had tried thus far. The resulting shard and the healing it provided were quite powerful, but Raphael was irreparably damaged. By the time Heaven had been provided enough shards to fill its need, he had gone mad and vanished from the White City. So basically Raphael just went, okay, well, normal souls are not good enough, so I guess I'm gonna take one of mine. And he basically chipped away at his souls to make these shards, and in the process went insane. I do hope that we will eventually get to see him either as an NPC or as a boss fight. But yeah, pretty sad story, especially because it didn't really help. Like, Heaven is still losing this war. Then we have Havoc Shards. The remnant of an angel's soul deeply damaged and corrupted from demonic possession. Havoc Shards became more common the longer the war raged on. As the constitution of Heaven's armies weakened, possession became that much easier. And this is actually a neat little bit of lore because, again, these shards can only come from angelic souls being twisted by demonic possession. And Nephilim, who have these Havoc or Anarchy forms, are half angel, half demon. So there's a good chance this probably wouldn't do much for anybody else. Then we have Strength Shards. This shard is largely dependent on the one who uses it. As its effect is determined by the strength of one's soul, those who are weak-willed will find themselves receiving little benefit. And for those absent a soul, the shard's consumption is not advised. So these basically make us stronger for a certain amount of time. They grant us more physical damage. Arcane Shards. Rumored to have been created by the demon prince Samael to store the power of his defeated enemies. Perhaps he would use them to fuel his dark rituals. One should take caution of their repeated use. These increase your arcane abilities, so they're basically like strength shards, only for arcane. Then we have Fortification Shards. These are my favorites. We will use them for some of the fights, probably. Frequently used by soldiers on the front lines of the most brutal skirmishes, allowing them to keep fighting against overwhelming odds. These shards are not without their disadvantages. Repeated use often leads to a full numbing of the body, making it impossible for a warrior to know their limits. So you can actually become addicted to these. These half your damage for a certain amount of time, and they actually last pretty long. So we're going to use them probably in Keepers of the Void at least, because that DLC has some seriously tough enemies. Then we have the Thorn Shards, a creation of the angel Phanuel, who distilled his divine judgment into a shard. Intended only for the angels tasked with storming the gates of the Dark Kingdom, these shards were scattered when Phanuel was attacked by Hadramon, overcome with grief over the demise of his beloved Raziel. Phanuel's fate is unknown. This basically reflects a certain amount of damage back onto you. Now here we have a whole lot of background lore. To make it very short, this is a story that was explained in the novel, so this actually makes part of the novel canon. Hadramon and Raziel were two angels who fell in love, except Hadramon and Raziel were just different enough in social standing and military rank that their relationship was against the rules. And one day, when they were supposed to meet up in secret, Hadramon actually ratted out Raziel to her superiors, and he was demoted from he was cast out of the angelic army. She was publicly, in a grand ceremony, banished to hell, stripped of all her knowledge of heaven's defenses and entryways into heaven, and then sent to hell. Oh boy. And this did not end well for either of them, because Hadramon kept on attacking heaven, trying to get revenge and trying to find a way to get back to her. And Raziel became twisted into a corrupted angel while she was in hell, and eventually led her own demon mercenary force with the sole intention of killing Hadramon. So this is why, as an angel, you should not hook up with your direct subordinates. Like, Abaddon, just leave Uriel alone, please. Just no good is gonna come of this. Then we have the Frenzy Shards. The imprisoned essence of a time spirit is incredibly powerful and is capable of warping the fabric of time around around it when activated. Some say Time Spirits are a race of the Old Ones who remain mostly uninvolved in the affairs of the Three Kingdoms. And last but not least, we have the Undying Shard. Since their creation, the angels have searched every corner of existence for signs from the Creator. Very rarely they will discover monuments blessed by His word. With the aid of the Old Ones long since lost to history, the angels turned these blessings into miracles, able to turn back death and turn demons away from darkness. So these basically, if you use them, don't have an immediate effect, but the next time you suffer a fatal blow, you will instead be given full health again. And as these shards imply, the Creator essentially made angels, demons, and humans, and then fucked off from the universe and hasn't been seen since. So nobody knows where he is. Nobody knows if he's dead, imprisoned, or he just decided that he didn't want to stick around anymore. But the angels keep on looking for signs from him, and these Undying Shards are some of the last relics of the Creator. Now, Vulgrim also sells the Echo Mark, which is basically a respec that we can use to redistribute our level up points. Echo Marks are rare oddities, the result of deep regret over past decisions, coupled with a desire to make amends. Practitioners of dark magic harness this unique energy, creating trinkets capable of granting second chances. So hey, if you find yourself a dark sorcerer, you can actually turn all your bad choice life regrets into a Echo Mark, which is neat. I see, like, they should have come to Earth. They would have had a very, very profitable market there. Last but not least, we have these. The Unfocused Rage enhancement is pretty much useless. We're not gonna buy it. The Rejuvenation Core allows us to increase the amount of health that the Nephilim Respite restores. We're going to get this later once we actually have thousands of souls to spare. Probably after we defeat Lust and are on our way to Gluttony. That's usually when I get it. This one is really interesting though. The Unfocused Leviathan. Look at this lore blip. Though you are a sibling to he who hath slain me, I will aid you for a time. This is a reference to the Darksiders 2 comic Death's Door, in which Death went on a mission given to him by Abaddon, who basically said, hey, there's a demon rampaging across Earth and I don't want to involve the council, can you please go and take care of it? And Death was like, yeah, well, demon on Earth, bad news, I'm gonna go. But because he was not on official council business, he couldn't use his proper scythe harvester, so he asked Vulgrim for a weapon. And Vulgrim wanted, as payment, the tongue of a Leviathan. So Death slew a Leviathan, brought its head to Vulgrim, and apparently he turned that thing into an enhancement, which he is now selling to Fury. So yes, if I were that Leviathan, I would be very, very, very pissed off at being sold to Fury of all people. We are going to buy this thing as soon as we can, because it is going to be able to give us souls every time we smash items. So smashing the environment is going to become even more profitable than it is right now. So, yeah. That's basically all the lore blips for now. I know this was a lot. We just spent a whole lot of time in this screen. I'm very sorry about this, but there really was a lot to go through there. A lot of really neat little hints to
Vulgrim and his demon tongue. They live to confound and feed of the scraps of a world they helped destroy.
Indeed they do.
But despite his thirst for souls, Vulgrim may be a useful tool on this journey.
So yeah, there was a lot of hints to materials that are not quite canon, but now thanks to these lore blips, at least these few aspects of the relevant items, of the relevant media have been made canon. So even if nothing else in the Abomination novel is canon, and there are some other things that are still canon, but even if nothing else were canon, Hatermon and Raziel are now canon because of this lore blip. And the same for the Leviathan and Death's Door. Even if nothing else from Death's Door actually happened in universe, the slaying of the Leviathan is canon. Actually, I did talk to the developer on Discord who wrote most of these, and he said it was
the
one of
length
his...
these roots have grown. They seem to have taken over everything.
Indeed, mistress.
He said it was a lot of fun for him, just basically putting in all these little references to all the other stuff, so he really enjoyed that he got to put all of that stuff in, and he really enjoyed watching people find it. So this was a labor of love, all of these item descriptions, and I know most people are going to completely gloss over them, but I think they really make the game so much richer than just, you know, they could have just written box standard, small potion, large potion, medium potion, but instead they gave it more depth, and I really appreciate that. Alright, now we're just gonna get rid of these guys and get ourselves a few more items. Ow! Fuck off, you stupid knife thrower. And then we're going to go on to one of my favorite cutscenes in this entire game, because it's another one that will make so much more sense once you have played the game completely. So you can already see, even now, using a small healing shard does not even restore our full health. So these things are going to become completely useless the later we go, the more we go into the game. So I'm going to use them now while they still do something.
I'm curious as to who remains here, if anyone.
Behind me, wee ones! Let me tend to our uninvited guests. A horseman?
Fury. Currently reserving the right to kill you where you stand. And you are?
Surprised, and more than a little relieved. Call me Ulthane Blackhammer.
So you'll not be flattening me today?
A maker, are you not?
Aye, when there's something to make. Today, my skills are only aimed towards instruments of death.
This is not your war.
No, not theirs neither. Like your council, I care for balance, horsemen. Humans, frail as they be, are part of the balance. Surely you're here to help protect them.
Wrong question.
A tribe of useless, hairless simians whose greatest talent was inventing ingenious new ways to divide and destroy one another. They could suffer forever or die tomorrow, and I wouldn't bat an eye either way.
And what is your business here?
What do they call you?
Jones.
Jones. Question me again with your last breath.
Look around. Look what's happened here. Do you honestly think anything scares me now?
Easy, lad. This one's none for trifles.
Yeah? What do I have to lose? This moronic conflict makes you all look so stupid. Angel, demon, horseman, even maker. What are you even fighting for, huh? Tell me!
I like this one. You may continue breathing, Jones.
Horsemen, please. To have you on our side would turn the tide in ways we cannot measure. Humanity might stand a chance.
While my mission does involve balance, it does not require them. I am here to root out the 7 deadly sins and return them to the Council. No less, no more.
What if I can help you? That bit of chain you carry could use some work.
I sincerely doubt that. I'm faring quite well without any help.
Of course. But in case you missed the moniker, I am a maker. who specializes in instruments of destruction, chaos, and the deliverance of pain. So it stands to reason that we little Ulthane could enhance your arsenal, if your horsemanship would give me the chance.
In exchange for?
Humanity will not survive without aid. If you come across any humans on your journey, please direct them here. Haven is the only place they might be sufficiently protected.
Direct them? How do you expect the apes to cross a battlefield and find you?
Oh, I don't. They'll need this. The bridge. Only humans can use it. One touch, they're sent to Haven.
Must I touch them? I accept your offer, Maker. Though I doubt it will make your collection any less useless.
We have a non-deal, then. As a show of good faith, a gift. Wrath.
Where?
You seek a pit of hellstretch set in the nether, beneath the city. And please, horsemen.
Yes, yes, I will shepherd the wee ones your way, pointless as it may be.
We'll see. And remember, Fury, the doors of Haven stand open to any who ask.
So here we go. Bridgestone etched with ancient maker magic allows instantaneous transportation of any human directly to Haven. Now, as we will learn from the lore of these, for a time the makers established and maintained many bridgestones, making travel between realms and distant lands simple for all. However, as the war raged and things grew dire, they undid their work, rendering the stones useless. So basically the makers had an entire network of these, so they could travel independently from the Tree of Death and Life, from the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death. And then the ancients and the demons kept on fighting, and they were like, yeah, no, we should probably get rid of these. Now, as for everything that happened in this cutscene, almost all of it will make more sense once we get to the end of the game. Especially the part about Ulthane saying that Haven stands open to all who ask. Not just all humans who ask, but all who ask. And secondly, yes, Jones is a great character, but everything he says will make so much more sense when you get to the end of the game. And we are going to get a few hints right here, right now, when we actually talk to him.
Hey there. Hey there. You done killing monsters yet? You done killing monsters yet? You done killing monsters yet? You done killing monsters yet?
I'm gonna try to get all his
You
dialogue.
done killing monsters yet? Hey there. Hey, horseman. You by horseman or horse lady? Or horse person?
So yeah, there he is. Horseman, horse lady, horse person. We're being politically correct here.
They don't have much, but they get by. It's what humans do.
And here it is. He says, they don't have much, but they get by. It's what humans do. He doesn't say, we don't have much, but we get by. It's what we do. He says, they don't have much, but they get by. It's what humans do. Very important hint, foreshadowing.
Hey there. You done killing monsters yet?
I think he has one
Hey
more
there.
line.
Without Ulthane, I don't know if any of them would have made it out.
Yeah. And we will find out later why Ulthane is actually helping humanity. But suffice to say, he's not just here out of the goodness of his heart. Like, he did not just stumble upon Earth in ruins and go, oh, I guess I should help. He actually has a very specific reason for being here. As for these other two makers, we don't know. But unfortunately, they are basically red shirts who are not going to survive this game. I'm very sorry. They are never named in the game. Her name is Elania in the art books, and his name is Yarin.
Welcome, horseman. You and these humans are welcome here.
Greetings, horseman. I bid you welcome.
Alright, now we can talk to Ulthane if we want to upgrade our whip and our enhancements. We don't actually have any of the materials needed for that just yet, so right now talking to him is pretty much pointless. But we are going to get to that later. What we can do is we can go up here and we can see how these humans actually live in Haven.
I can finally sleep safe.
And right now there are 5 humans in Haven.
It's beautiful.
This is going to get a lot more as we go on. So we've got some books here. Got a desk and a chair for some reading. And some very, very basic cards. But imagine you have been a human in this apocalypse for 10 years. You've been constantly on the run from demons. And you get here and it's just like, hey, we have a place where you can lie down and not wonder if you're going to wake up with a demon munching on your leg. Like, that's just gotta be paradise. I mean, it absolutely is like a house of sticks and stones, like she said in the beginning, but compared to living out there in a demon-infested wasteland, it definitely is a step up. And makers are extremely sturdy. Like, makers are old ones. They are actually so old that their souls cannot be drawn into the Well of Souls. And they are pretty strong too. So if you have a maker next to you, pretty much no demon is gonna mess with you because it's a maker. You don't want to mess with a maker.
He is certainly committed to his cause.
Ulthane, he is blind to what truly matters.
Perhaps, yes.
Just another pawn who will never understand the game into which he's been played. And he does love the sound of his own voice, doesn't he?
Not like anyone I know.
Did you say something?
Fury is like this close to just basically murdering her watcher. Could have saved herself a lot of trouble if she had, honestly. Alright, and now we should finally have enough souls to actually buy the Leviathan enhancement, so we're gonna get that now. So these are Lurcher crystals. They basically come together when when people get slain and souls cluster together in one specific place. You get these Lurcher clumps and Lurcher clusters, and they have different strengths and different amount of souls in them. So you can shatter all of these and basically use these souls for level ups or for buying stuff from Volcrum.
Greetings.
We now have
Take your
5,000,
time.
which means we have just enough to buy the Leviathan enhancement.
As you wish. Do make sure they scream.
And I just
Horseman.
realized we haven't even achieved our Havoc form yet. Now these are angelic artifacts. We will find both angelic and demonic artifacts as we go through the game. And in order to upgrade a enhancement fully, you need 12 angelic artifacts and 12 demonic artifacts. So we're gonna have to get a lot of these if we want to get through this game without much trouble. Oh shit. I did not want to get the attention of all of these just yet. Shit. Oh well. So we're just gonna make our way through this area. And as for the question that was just asked in the chat, where does Fury even store all of these things? Never really explained, but considering that souls go into her gauntlet, I think her gauntlet is something like the like Hermione's purse from Harry Potter with an undetectable extension charm. Probably something like that. And here we get adamantine. Now, adamantine is a material that we can use to improve our weapons. And that also has a nice description if we go here. So, Heaven's armies were well equipped. Their best soldiers afforded several of the White City's most powerful artifacts. Hell made sure to kill them first. So basically, carrying this angelic artifact around makes you a target. And as for the adamantine, as the makers constructed the cities of Heaven and Hell, they discovered large deposits of a metal tougher than any other. The makers revered it. When the time came to forge weapons of war with for the armies of the blessed and the damned, there was no material better suited. So yeah, basically this was discovered by the makers and they went, oh neat, extra strong metal, we're gonna take that. And so yeah, almost all the weapons that the makers make use adamantine. Oh, yeah, come on, get up here. Alright. Now there's another suffering. Just want to get rid of this guy and then we're going to go. Ow, shit. Why are you locking onto the small guy? Jesus. Fury, stop that. I hate the camera in this game. Seriously. Sometimes in these games you fight more with the camera than you fight with anything else. But there we go. Green soul means health lurcher, so we did just use a Nephilim respite, but we got it right back, and we're gonna have to come back for this thing later, because we can't get through there yet. And now we're actually going to switch our enhancements. We're going to use this one from now on to actually get some souls when we smash environmental objects. Don't ask how this works. If this is some kind of Disney's Pocahontas, everything has a soul kind of bullshit. But yes, we can get souls from smashing environmental objects. And what we're actually going to do right now is we are going to jump down there where there's even more of these wonderful angel creatures, corrupted angels, super fun. And we're going to get all of their attention and go into Havoc form. There is a trophy in this game for getting 666 Havoc kills. What I just want to say is she has no mouth. And she has upside down wings like a demon. So that's Fury's Havoc form. It works a lot like War's Chaos form and Strife's Anarchy form. Except it only has one attack, so basically that one combo you just saw. And also it heals you when you use it, which is really convenient. Like if you ever run out of healing items and you still have Havoc form, slap on Havoc form and it will heal you for a good chunk of your health, probably even for your entire health if you're very strategic about it and you don't get hit all the time. So you can use this as a last ditch healing item basically. A fair word of warning though, if you are using Havoc form on the PC, it completely kills your FPS. Like, if your game previously runs at 40 FPS, it will run at 20 when you use this. And here we have the first of the shadow demons, as I like to call them. They don't really have a specific name. Many people call them red eyes. I like to call them shadow demons. Basically these are stronger versions of our normal demons, except they give you adamantine, and if you go into New Game Plus they give you oblivion ore, which you can use to upgrade your armor. So these guys are a lot tougher and they hit a lot harder than the normal ones, but at least you get something nice. And now we're going to get to a cutscene that is just peak Fury. Like, this is Fury in a nutshell.
Please, no, just kill me. Oh, stop your blubbering, human. Come to me. Now. Do you want to live?
What?
If you want to live, I can send you to a safe place. Safe as any, I suppose. Touch it. Idiots. It's a miracle they ruled the Earth for as long as they did.
uh, she just hates everything and everyone. Well, except for her horse.
Ugh. It smells like death in here. Trust me. We shared a room 1,000 years ago.
I have so many questions about that line. So, first of all, death apparently smells. And secondly, how and why and when did they share a room? I need to know. We did actually ask the devs about this during a session on the Discord, and apparently it was like during some mission, and somebody asked like, during that mission, did they share bunk beds, and who had the top bunk? And the reply from the developers was, yes, bunk beds, and Fury had the top bunk. So obviously all tongue-in-cheek, but I really want to know what happened there. Alright, here we go. Oh, I hate these mini spiders. They just pop out of nowhere. And yes, Fury has equal distaste for overgrown bugs as her brothers, because if you get a perfect dodge on these and under counterattack, she will sometimes just call them vermin. And we will later see a cutscene where she just stomps them, because, yeah, none of the horsemen really like big bugs. And of course, one of the ironies of Fury's relationship with Death is that he is the leader of the Horsemen, technically, because he's the most powerful one and their leader, but he doesn't really seem to care all that much. And she, on the other hand, absolutely wants that position and just can't get it, because... And I don't think anything she can ever do is going to make her more powerful than Death, because Death canonically has a insane healing factor, which he can take a sword through the chest and not die, which is more than you can say for any of the other horsemen. And I actually just realized the way we are going through this game, we are probably going to finish just after we defeat Raph. Which, that's gonna be a nice note to end on, for those of you who already know where this is going. Oh shit, I didn't want to fight both of them at the same time. And of course the camera once again locks onto the enemy that's actually further away from me. Like a complete idiot. Like, why? Just why? Alright, let's go. So yeah, this used to be a subway tunnel. Yikes. But I do love the level design in this game. I do love that it really looks like the apocalypse 10 years later. Oh, whoops, sorry, bump bug. Now these critters are probably some of the most beloved critters in the entire Darksiders universe. These are bump bugs. You pick them up, and I love how Fury doesn't even pick them up herself. She just uses her telekinesis, which unfortunately she doesn't use all that much. She just picks them up like that. She's like, nah, I'm not touching that. And you basically bring them over towards these kind of I don't even know what that is, like flame essence stuff, which they absorb, and then you throw them at webs and make them explode. So cool. But everybody loves the bump bugs. Bump bugs are the bomb.
By Hell's Gate!
Being observant is literally in your name, Watcher.
That spider is much too big for comfort. That is a harvester. We will fight her later, and I will deliberately let her defeat me because there will be extra dialogue. Now, this is also really interesting, in my opinion, is that you can see the headline on this newspaper is Apocalypse. So apparently, human infrastructure lasted long enough to at least write a newspaper article and publish a newspaper article about the apocalypse. Which, that must have been utterly terrifying. Like, at least if you died in the initial wave, and the initial attack, you didn't have to stick around for anything of it. But imagine you were actually alive for longer than that. Imagine you had to live through actually seeing your city get devastated by this stuff. Being a human after the apocalypse must have sucked so badly.
Sloth. I heard tales, but truly, he is a terrible sight to behold. I think I may be sick.
So yeah, that is Sloth. He's essentially a giant bedbug. We will get to him later. Quite a bit later, actually. Probably next week. Now, if you are playing this game on a completely fresh save, so you don't have access to the extra costumes, I would recommend that you save your souls until you have about 10,000 of them, and buy the special armor that Volgrim is going to sell soon.
Greetings.
If you already have all the armors you want, just go ahead and
will be fun for both of us.
feed him souls whenever you want. Which we're going to do now. We're going to level up a little bit. And how you distribute these points is entirely up to you.
As you wish.
Personally,
Farewell for now.
personally, I like to go with 2 points in health and 2 points in strength for every single point in Arcane. So we're going to put these to 4, 4, and 2. And then we just keep on going like that. Because Arcane really is only worth it for Havoc form and for your Wrath abilities. And I rarely ever use the Wrath abilities, and Havoc form alone is not worth it. So I'm spending most of my points in strength. Oh, and also the Perfect Dodge also uses Arcane, but then again, that implies that you get all the Perfect Dodges right. We're gonna spend a lot more time just generally whacking at our enemies rather than perfect dodging, so I really prefer to put the focus on strength. But again, this comes down entirely to playstyle. Come here.
Ugh. The worst of the smells come from above.
Rest in pieces, bump bug. Now, you want to make sure that you don't push this guy off of the edge, because otherwise you will not be able to get the item he drops. So come on. There we go.
This ends now.
There we go.
No more. What? What is this?
And so yeah, on the other side of that chasm we basically have Wrath slaughtering a couple of angels. We will get to him in just a bit. And as for the comment from the chat just now, yes, all the humans have, or most of the humans have different accents. So, different humans affected here. Ow. Ow.
This is what it means to live, Watcher. To face a worthy foe, if only for a brief time, before their inevitable destruction.
Don't dislocate your arm patting yourself on the back. How do you plan on dealing with that, my bloodthirsty mistress?
No. Go away. I don't want you right now. As for the questions in the chat, would guns work on demons, or on some of the other creatures? On some of them it probably would. We do know that demons can be killed by guns, even normal human guns. But it would take a lot of bullets, a lot of very careful aiming, and some of these creatures, like these big giant broodmother crabs that we just saw, probably would not be able to be taken down by a normal weapon. You would probably need a rocket launcher for those.
Music to my ears.
Feel the burn of heaven's blade!
He does enjoy dismembering angels.
We all need a hobby.
I hope you've left something for me. I'll try not to enjoy this too much.
Final troll waits.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Alright, so here we can see angels with normal feathery wings, which is why I'm saying, like, my personal headcanon for why they are so different is that angels who lose their normal wings get those mechanical wings, basically. And as for the question of how humans survive this long, probably a lot of running and hiding. A fun fact, actually, the art book lists every single enemy, the art book for Darksiders 1 lists every single enemy and NPC in the game with their special attack. And for the human characters, the special attacks are listed as run and hope. So that was probably it, running and hoping. And I think this next cutscene is a good place to end the game, don't you think?
Rampage! Your master summons you! We ride! Rampage! Get up! Mistress!
It's funny what you remember in between screams. My siblings used to refer to you as the dumb one. Yes! The harder you fight, the stronger I get!
I'll tear you apart!
Oh, you think you're angry? You barely scratched the surface.
Then let me dig deep! We were set up. War. The others. There are great forces at work here. Watcher, help. Mistress!
Something is wrong with the world.
Delicate order is imbalanced.
Rest in peace, Rampage. Poor horse. We hardly knew him. Small trivia about Rampage. According to the art book, he's actually the fastest of the horses. So there's a joke on the Discord that he was the fastest in life and the fastest to die.
Step forward. Now I ask of both angel and demon. Do you arrive here of your own free will? The tenets of the Hollowing demand it.
I do, Lord of the Hollows.
As do I. You have both fought this war since the dawn of time. You are weary. Yet, immortality prevents the ultimate respite. The Lord of the Hollows alone can bestow upon you this gift. The final release. No longer will your souls be recycled time and time again to fight for heaven and hell. They are now mine. And you are finally free!
Cowards!
Ah, the impetuous creature awakens. Deluded pawn of the Charred Council. Do you even know where you are?
I know exactly where I am. The stench betrays you. The Hollows is a hell all its own.
Indeed. But it is one that I alone rule.
What did you do to them?
Nothing that they did not wish for. You wear your ignorance on your face. The true consequences of this so-called war for balance are beyond your comprehension. Perhaps I should hollow you. A watcher. This only confirms what I already held to be true. You are just a puppet. The Council is playing you to further their own machinations.
Enough! Unlike you, I have not come to this place for personal gain. The 7 deadly sins must be eliminated once and for all to protect the balance you mock. I will not be deterred.
She speaks the truth, O Lord, and she is tenacious to say the least.
Your words carry no weight with me. They stink of lies. Prove your commitment to balance.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say this real quick. The developers have confirmed on Discord that when the 7 seals are broken, all the horsemen are called to Earth and brought back from wherever they are at the time, and so are their horses. So Rampage will be back.
This is more than a test of battle.
A demonstration, horseman. You are so quick to combat. Your whip ready to crack. True righteousness requires true insight. If this was a test, you have failed. To resist a call to raw impulse is a different type of strength.
Spare your wisdom. I know my strength, and when I prove it to the Council, I alone will lead the Horsemen. The 7 will be destroyed, along with their designs for a world far more hideous than the apocalypse we already know.
Very well. You will need this.
A flame hollow? For what purpose?
Even I am aware that there are times when sides must be chosen. Take this weapon, and know that I have chosen mine. But take heed, horseman. The universe has so many faces. Your survival depends on what you have learned here. You must open your eyes to much more than that which gazes back at you from the mirror.
Fine. Can we go now?
Not quite yet. There is the matter of Abraxas to discuss.
Abraxas.
The demon meddler. If Earth is to remain intact, he must be dealt with. He threatens your balance. His very soul must be brought to me.
I see. And you want me to do it?
Who better?
I'll consider it. No guarantees.
Then you and your watcher, be gone.
Now, we will eventually find out who the Lord of Hollows is and why he is so distrustful of the Watcher. But basically, just a word about what he just did right now with this angel and this demon. Like I said, normally when a character dies, and now we are resistant to flame, by the way, but only if we're wearing the flame hollow. When somebody in the Darksiders universe dies, their souls get reborn through the Well of Souls. And what this means is that your soul is actually never fully at rest. It will always be born back, and I think this dialogue kind of implies that it will always be born back into the same species. So if your soul is the soul of an angel, it will become another angel. And angels and demons have been in this battle for so long that some of them would do literally anything to just get out of this cycle of reincarnation. And the Lord of Hollows essentially distills their souls into essence that he keeps God knows where, and all that's left of them is dust. And this is considered cowardly because, again, you are basically cheating the way the universe works. And now we're going to get into a few conversations with Fulcrum. I say a few because he has, I think, 2 of them. One that's the normal one that you should get after this event in the story, and the other one which is specific to the to either the Crucible or Keepers of the Void, I don't remember, to one of the two DLCs, and it leads to a hilarious cut in conversation and dialogue. Let's go.
I see you have procured the Flame Hollow. How much for it?
You're kidding.
I am. Look at you, learning to identify humor. That's character growth.
While you remain painfully the same. Do you want something?
Well, since you asked, I require... Oh, I hate this word. I require your help.
Really?
And truly. As you know, I'm a demon about town, a busy soul trader. My business takes me all across this world and others, but something is blocking my way. Someone is muscling in on the serpent holes. This invasion has stripped me of my ability to move freely throughout the realm.
Sounds like your problem, not mine.
The Stone Marauders wish to control the serpent holes themselves. One must confront these unwieldy beasts for the good of all. All right, but for the good of demons and horsemen, the serpent holes must be cleansed. And that Flame Hollow is the first key. As you know, I am unfit for such an outing, but you and your whip are so much more persuasive.
Why would I help you?
This has the makings of a mutually beneficial relationship.
I've heard this before. Still not happening. Ever.
There are treasures hidden away in the Serpentine network. You clear the way for me, they are yours. You will require more hollows to traverse the network in its entirety. But it will be worth it. Unlock the passageways, lay waste to the Guardians, and I promise their bountiful treasures are yours and yours alone.
I'll consider it, Demon.
Ah, Fury! How kind of you to pay me a visit. I trust the slaying is going well.
This is what I meant.
None of your concern, Demon.
Your tone betrays you, Horseman. You see, I was right after all, yes? You and your kin have been deceived.
That's no secret. But by who?
Surely angels are the most likely suspect. Wouldn't you agree after what happened to dear old Rampage?
You are not fit to speak his name.
No need to unleash your might on me, Horseman. Look to those who would benefit from your failure. Your enemies are closer than you think.
So yeah, what Volgrim says here, her enemies are closer than she thinks. He is right about that. He is so right about that. He's still a slimy bastard, so we don't really care. Now that we have the Flame Hollow, we also have a second weapon, the Chains of Scorn. So we're going to restock at some of our enhancements. And we're basically going to keep Leviathan on these flails, so we can use those to smash environmental objects and get more souls, while still having all the benefits from the Fortifier enhancement, which we are going to swap out as soon as we get the next one. Let me just go back real quickly. So there we have a little bit on the Flame Hollow, and these are basically, this is a weapon created by the Lord of Hollows from the souls that he has hollowed, and this will allow us to become impervious to flames. It will allow us to double jump like this, and like I said, we get a neat little weapon out of it, which we can now use to burn down these webs that we previously needed the bomb box for. So we will have to sacrifice far fewer bucks now that we have this weapon. I'm just going to shatter a few crystals and well, 2 crystals. We are going to leave the luminous visages alone, because those are actually instant level ups, so they immediately give you a level up point, but as the level ups get progressively more expensive as we go, we're basically going to save these for the end of the game. And we get a nice little lore blip here, so there's much we know of the things the creator wove into existence. The various beings, the various worlds, all have their place in his grand design. However, there do exist anomalies, relics sometimes unaccounted for many have been found, others remain hidden from us, invisible to the eyes of heaven and hell. Are they too his creations, or are they something else, I wonder? So nobody really knows what the luminous visage is, or where it comes from, but it was apparently not made by the creator. And yeah, I think this is going to be a good place to end the game, because next week we're basically going to explore